Good afternoon, guys. Posh English Trader here, and welcome to my ones to watch for this week, starting on Monday, the 29th of the 7th. I've got 6 currency pairs today to have a look at, which could potentially offer trading opportunities, and I'm going to take you through them, analyze the technicals and the fundamentals to see what could potentially happen. So, starting off with the Euro US dollar, then it's reached this critical support area just here, around about that 11.124 level, as it comes to the end of this wedge formation just here. So, I'm looking for a break as we go through this week. If we do see that break, then I'm going to wait for the retracement back up to that broken support level, and then before we finally get that bearish formation. I'm thinking there might be a retracement because the RSI is already at low levels here, and if we do get that break, then it'll likely head into the oversold territory, and then that suggests that there might be a small retracement to come. So in terms of data releases that could potentially drive the pair, we have the Euro-German unemployment change and unemployment claims on Wednesday at 7:55. We then have the Eurozone gross domestic product consumer price index at 9 o'clock. And then, of course, we have the FOMC rate decision coming out at 6 o'clock, which is going to be likely the highest driver for this pair. Depending on those outcomes, we'll see which way the pair is likely to take. Don't forget that this week is also a non-farm payrolls week. That's coming out on Friday at 12:30. Also likely to give this pair some direction as well. So plenty to drive the pair this week. We're definitely going to get some volatility and see which way the price will go. And that's going to give us that trading opportunity. So next up we have the Euro New Zealand dollar. Now this pair is still respecting this descending trend line, as you can see just here. It has retraced up to that descending trend line, but now I'm waiting for a pin bar to form around this area just to show that the bulls are running out of steam and that the pair might head lower. At the moment there's still a bit of bullish action. However, it is at a nice level with that intersection of the descending trend line and also this previous area of broken support now turned resistance, showing that this could be a real potential place where the price could bounce off and we could enter short. So in terms of drivers for the pair this week, there's not a whole lot out for the New Zealand dollar. However, there is a Chinese manufacturing PMI coming out at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And as one of the biggest trading partners to New Zealand, that does have the potential to impact the New Zealand dollar itself. We also have Australian CPI coming out on Wednesday at 1:30 as well. Again, as one of the largest trading partners to New Zealand, also a potential impact on the New Zealand dollar there. For the euro on that Wednesday, we do have, of course, the Euro-German unemployment change and the unemployment claims at 7:55, and then we also have the Eurozone CPI and gross domestic product coming out at 9 o'clock on that Wednesday as well, both likely to heavily impact the euro itself. So next up we have the Canadian dollar Swiss franc, a really interesting one as it is respecting this descending trend, as you can see just there, and it's making the movements that it made twice before. So previously it came down to around about that 7,459 level and then retraced right back up to that 7,537 level, and it's done a similar movement just this time. So this is giving us now an opportunity to short back down towards the bottom of that range, which is around about that 7,350 level. If I just zoom in here slightly, so we can see on the 4 hourly that a pin bar has formed right at that area of resistance where it had reached previously. What I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for price to break down below what looks like a small ascending trend just here. Once I see that break, then I'll look to enter short and head back down towards that 7,350 area. And if I put my stop loss just above the top of this pin bar, that should give me a really, really good risk to reward ratio for this one. So in terms of drivers for this pair, the Swissy likely to be driven by the Eurozone data, which is out on Wednesday. So we've got the German unemployment change and the unemployment claims, and then we also have the Eurozone gross domestic product as well as the CPI. Then on Friday, as you can see here, we do have some Swiss data coming out. Obviously, that will be likely to drive the currency as well. However, traditionally, the Swiss franc is a safe haven currency. So if we do get any nasty surprises on Wednesday with the FOMC rate decision, then we'll likely see some bullish momentum in the Swiss franc from that. So the Canadian dollar likely to be driven by the FOMC rate decision on Wednesday, but also on Wednesday we have the Canadian gross domestic product coming out at 12:30. And then Thursday sees the release of the Royal Bank of Canada's Canadian manufacturing PMI, and that's at 1:30. Both of these events likely to drive the Canadian dollar itself. So next up we have the Swiss franc Japanese yen. Now this one's been respecting this descending trend for quite a while. However, recently has broken out, as you can just see here. And if we zoom in slightly, you can see that now the pair appears to be respecting this small uptrend that appears to have formed just here. So there's a potential to go long on the pair and try and aim for the previous high, which is just below this 11,100 level. However, it might be worth waiting until the pair has pushed above this 11,000 level just here, which is the previous high, to give yourself a little bit more of a backup plan just in case it decides to head lower back down towards this descending trend line a little bit more here. Once it reaches, or if it does reach that 11,100 level, you've also got then the target for the 11,200 level, which you can see just there. That would be the next high target too. So in terms of announcements that might move the pair, then for the Swiss franc, we do have that Euro-German unemployment change and the unemployment claims out on Wednesday at 7:55, and then we also have the Eurozone gross domestic product and also the consumer price index out at 9 o'clock on the same day. We also have on Friday 3 pieces of data out for the Swiss franc. Depending on how those fare will also impact the currency as well. For the yen, we have the Bank of Japan rate decision, which is out early tomorrow morning. Then we've got the outlook report and also the 10-year yield target as well, all likely to move the Japanese yen. We also have Chinese GDP out on Wednesday, which is likely to impact the Japanese yen as well. So plenty around to impact this pair and give it a bit of volatility and potentially a long bet this week. Okay, so next up we have the US dollar Canadian dollar, which has been respecting this lovely looking descending trend. It's recently retraced right back up to that trend line, and if I zoom in here just a little bit, you can see that a pin bar has formed just at where price meets that descending trend. A lot of volatility expected in this pair this week, with major reports coming out for both currencies Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, so an opportunity to potentially go short here down towards that 13,000 level. It might be worth waiting until price has broken below the tails of these two candles here to give you more of a chance or more certainty that price may head down towards those lower levels. So for the US dollar, we do have, of course, that FOMC rate decision, and all eyes in the markets are on that for this week. That's on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. But we also have the non-farm payrolls on Friday, which also has the opportunity to move this pair. For the Canadian dollar, we have the gross domestic product out on Wednesday at 12:30, expected to be slightly worse than before. Obviously, any disappointment will be bearish for the Canadian dollar, and that would be positive for this pair. And then on Thursday, we also have the Royal Bank of Canada's manufacturing PMI, a high impact notification, which you need to watch out for, especially if you're trading the Canadian dollar. Okay guys, so finally we have the Euro Swiss franc. Now this one's been in a downtrend since it broke down below that major area of support, which was around that 11,164 level, as you can see indicated by that green line. If we zoom in here, you can see that just at that previous area of support, now turned resistance, there is those two doji candles which are formed here, the resistance candles, showing that there is indecision in the market and a potential for a reversal off of this descending trend line. So potential to go short down towards that 10,900 area and potentially lower from there, but obviously we need to see what happens once price reaches that area. So look at the 4-hourly chart, shows price heading in a very sideways direction at the moment, and I would say if you are looking to short this one, then potentially wait until price has broken down below this level, around about that 11,028 or so. That would allow you to put your stop loss just above this point here, above these two candles, around about that 11,068 level, giving you a pretty good risk to reward ratio. So in terms of data announcements that could move the euro, we do have the Euro-German unemployment change on Wednesday at 7:55, as well as the unemployment claims at the same time. And then we have the Eurozone gross domestic product at 9 o'clock, as well as the consumer price index out at the same time as well, all likely to be moving the euro depending on the outcome of those results. With so much critical data out this week, this Swissy could be reinstated as a safe haven currency. However, on Friday we do have this data out from Switzerland as well, which also has the potential to move this pair. Okay guys, that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in to my ones to watch. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to check out my 100% free ebook, which takes you step by step through the strategy that I use to trade. And you can get that by clicking on the link in the description below or copying and pasting the link in the description below. Until next time.